This is the Nightmare Gazette. I'm Greg with my brother Matt in studios.
What's going on, everybody?
We have two articles or news stories about Area 51. The first one being a Russian spy plane was tracked flying over Area 51 and other secret military bases.
This one is definitely, I don't know how they get away with it or how it wasn't shot down if the Americans realized that this was happening.
Well, there is a treaty that does permit, that was first proposed in 1955 by President Eisenhower,
And it was signed in 1992. The treaty permits each state party to conduct short notice, unarmed, surveillance.
Reconnaissance flights over
enemy territory.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy to think how this stuff is still going on. Like, we fly over theirs, they fly over ours, but wouldn't you just use satellites?
You would think so nowadays.
Or just Google Earth it, man. You just Google Earth it and boom.
Yeah, like they have I'm sure a lot of things are blacked out on there because we can't even see all the Google Earth images. Yeah, but it does say like the parties have 72 hours advance notice to notify the host nation before conducting any of the flight. And then the host country, which I guess in this case would be the United States, has 24 hours to acknowledge the request and is required to observe the party and see where they're going, what they're doing.
Which makes no sense. If you're trying to do a reconnaissance flight, why would you give notice?
And
that's so stupid.
I understand. And then it also says like the host country, which in this case again would be the United States, has 4 hours to review all this stuff, and then they could also send somebody with them. I guess on like, hey, we're tailing you, so let's show you around our country.
That's kind of stupid to me. But the other article that was...
Well, this one, I want to jump into this a little bit more because it does say several military bases, including Area 51.
Correct.
I want to know, do they have pictures?
I'm sure they do.
What does it look like? Like, leak this shit. Show us.
Maybe they don't have that information. Maybe they don't have the photographs.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting that these articles happen roughly the same time.
Yeah.
Because then there's an article that we found, or you brought up to my attention, about Area 51 dating back to the 1940s.
Yeah, 1947. And they said they have never before seen photographs of the military base. And one of them is, in fact, Disk, a Russian spy plane.
Yeah, and that's what they said. They alleged, like, everybody knows, like, there's this crash in Roswell that happened, and it kicked off the UFO craze.
Yeah.
And that started this whole thing, when in fact, it was probably a Russian spy plane. And they do have the photos, which is really interesting, because one of them does look like a boomerang disc-shaped object.
Mm-hmm.
And they have up-close pictures where you see the base and you see some like trailers, you see like people, and it does make you think when we saw this new article that recently just came out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was only 2 days ago?
Yeah.
And said, all right, here's what they were doing, and they're still doing that. So imagine, when the Cold War is going on after World War II, and they're spying on us, going to Area 51, and now they're still doing it.
Yeah.
Today.
But just imagine, like, so the better technology and the better things that we can have to hide, like these secret military bases and our secret stuff, like underground.
Well, one thing that it brought up to my attention, like, all right, they're still photographing, all these military compounds and stuff. Like, after a while, I think, like, Area 51 has lost its luster because I feel like they would kind of move all that shit out of there.
Yeah, 100%.
Unless there is bases so far deep that, everybody thinks like, oh, like, it's so obvious that it's not obvious anymore.
Maybe.
And then maybe that's why they're still, filming this place. And then imagine, all this craze and all this hysteria that was the 1947 Roswell crash. And it's UFOs. Everybody now believes in UFOs because this is the coup de grace of UFOs. When in fact,
just a spy plane.
It was just a spy plane. So it makes you think, right?
It definitely does.
I don't know. Let us know your thoughts about this Nightmare Gazette. This was just a report that we're bringing you. And tune in to our YouTube channel where you can get all the Weekday Weirds, Nightmare Gazettes, and our show, and hit the bell for notifications, and follow along with us at nightmare365.com. And until next time,
Stay spooky.